Hey everybody, welcome or welcome back. My name is Monique and I'm on a financial health journey to create an inheritance for the generations to come. I want to do that through consistency and discipline. Let me get a little bit extra light in here. All right, today is Wednesday, May the 1st, and I'm here to do my weekly closeout. This is the last week of April, so my weeks run from a Friday to a Thursday. And this would be the week of April 26th through May the 2nd. It'll be the last time that I'm doing anything for April, of course, but it's also the last time I'm going to be doing a weekly budget as well. I'd like to thank anybody who's liked or commented on any of my videos, and especially those that have chosen to subscribe to my channel. Truly started this as a way to hold myself accountable, but I understand, recognize, and appreciate the community as a whole. So if you're rocking with me on this journey, thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you haven't made up your mind yet, sit with me for a spell. At the end of this video, if you find that this is content that's enjoyable or valuable, please feel free to subscribe. So not only am I closing out this week's budget, but this is my first time working with cash for my variable expenses. So we'll go through this wallet as well. And I'm doing my best to have this video under 15 minutes. So I'm not going to rush, but I'm going to go fast. Okay, so here we go. So here's my monthly budget. I'm going to scoot in a little bit and you guys work with me here. First time having a candle and trying to have a little ambiance. We just gonna see how this gonna work out. Okay, so it's to cover the week of the 26th through the 30th. So with that week, we had gas outs to come out. Apple Care's already come out. I paid my mortgage back when I got paid on the 19th, and Ring came out. And then this morning, I noticed that the electric for 110 came out. Still waiting on the AHS, the home insurance. But it is an auto draft and it's the same amount every month. So I know that we're good to go ahead with our closeout, okay? And I've already created my May. And May is busy, honey. It is busy. So we will talk about that in another video. Okay. All right. So let's go into this and see where we are. As far as our income source is concerned, everything came in as expected. $400 was in my bills account for me to work with, $250 in variable. Rollover was $20 and $40 was extra. So we're good. We're at $710. As I mentioned before, everything has come out except for the home insurance. I went ahead and wrote that one in. I didn't check it off as being paid yet since they haven't taken the money out. But I did go ahead and mark it here. And what you'll notice is all of the amounts came in as expected. And so that should total the exact same thing that I have down here, $295. Okay. Mini challenge, I was able to give myself the $70 that I wanted to close out the month of April and to close out those savings challenges. I was actually able to complete 2. Almost 3. So having that extra 20 in there really helped. Usually I only do 50, but I did save 70 to close out. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that going forward, but it was cool to do it that time. So we're good. All right, as far as my variable expenses are concerned, remember anything in green is good, meaning that I'm either under budget where I needed to be or over budget like in savings, and anything red is bad. So if I go over budget in bills or under budget in savings, you'll notice that I have a whole lot of green here and no red. So I'm happy about that. So I did track all of my expenses and then I go and color coordinate them so that I can figure out how much I've spent in each category. And I went ahead and wrote in those numbers. What you'll also notice here, though, I have 2 charges, one for little Tokyo. We went to Hibachi on Sunday. My niece was in town and I took her and my youngest out for dinner. But that came out of events, out of the sinking fund events. And I had to pay $34 for a theater banquet that Corinne has, and that came out of her sinking fund. So with that, they're in blue because they came out of sinking funds and not out of variable expenses. Excuse me one second. And so with that, because I did not spend them out of variable expenses, I didn't count them, but I did want to document them to make sure that I had them. All right. So let's add those together. Now you'll notice I went ahead and put 250 here, and that's because regardless of what this amount is for this total, I'm either going to take that money that's left over and have it as rollover in my Moterm wallet that I'm going to carry around. See that right there? Or I'm going to roll it over into savings challenges for when I get paid on Friday. So that's why the total will always say $250, because I got to figure out some place to allocate that money, and I got to make sure that it's documented here. But let's see how much I actually spent. So that would be 30, 45, 30, 10, and 5 equals $120. So you'll notice here, I only spent $30 in gas and not 40. I only spent $45 in groceries. I really tried to treat this as a filler week. You know, I had a lot of things. I looked and saw what I had, and then I just tried to fill in where I needed to, which was really good for my budget this time. So that was cool. I spent all of my money as far as my home is concerned. Corinne got $10 of her $20 that she's due. I still have $10 in cash that she did not ask for, and I actually asked her if she wanted it, and she told me no twice this week, so that's cool. And then I only spent $5 of my money, and we did not eat out at all. Although this $20 that we have for dining out, I know I will use that on Thursday, because we always eat out on Thursday because we have a really long day. So I'm going to go ahead and write that $120. I'll need that for later on when I reconcile what I have in my cash envelope. All right. And then as far as unplanned expenses are concerned, it came in right as expected. It was just the $40 that we had already talked about in my budget with me. So everything came in the way that it's supposed to. And let me just tell you, I love a boring budget, because a boring budget means I came in as expected. I didn't go crazy, didn't lose my mind, didn't spend money I wasn't supposed to or unexpectedly. So I love it. So I don't even have to add all of this together. Since all those numbers came in as expected, I know I am under budget by $55. And I'll see about rolling that over into next week. All right. So now I'm going to first say, yay, Monique, you did a great job. Yay. All right. So, and then I'm going to move this over to the side, and let's talk about what we have in our wallet. So the first thing is, I do not have a category for, nope. I was going to talk about the categories, but we're not going to do that. I'm going to pull those categories out, and I'm going to get this change, because I put the change in here too, just so that everything would be together. Okay. I didn't know if any change was in there or not. Let's get all this change out, the change that we have. Alrighty. And I'm going to sit this over to the side. Okay. So let's pull this out. Let's put the change up. First, we start with the quarters. Next, we move to the dimes. Next, we move to the nickel. And then we move to the pennies. All right, we are good. All of that is in there. Let's get my tower looking right. Good job. And then we'll stick that back. Now let's talk about what we have here. So next, gas is not in here. I leave gas in the bank because I do use Upside. So that extra $10, I gave myself 40, spent 30. That 10 is in the bank in my variable expense account. For groceries, I gave myself 120, and I spent 45. 120 minus 45 equals $75. So I should have $75 here. 20, 40, 60, 65, 70, 75. Alrighty, so that's the $75 for that. Let me stick that right there. Next, household, didn't have anything left over. I gave myself 30, spent 30. Personal, gave myself 20, I spent 5, so I should have $15 left. That's that 15. Put that over there. Next, dining out, gave myself 20, didn't spend anything yet, but I know I'm going to spend it on Thursday, so I'm going to leave this in my wallet. So we'll do that. And then for miscellaneous, this is Corinne's $10 that she had, and I'm going to leave it in my wallet for her for next week. So I'll add her piece to that, her next 10 to it, and we'll just keep adding it in there for whenever she needs it. So we'll keep that. I know she talked about needing some shampoo and other stuff, so there's no point in putting it back in the wallet. So I'm going to leave those in. Let's turn that over. I'm going to put it in here. I will stuff this again once I go to the bank after I get paid and we start a fresh week again. So I'll restuff it at that time. So that's done. So this is what I'm working with. So we can go at these 60, 70, 80, 90, $90. All right. So I have a place where I want to save any of my buffer money that I want to have in specific categories. So I just combined, and I'm going to come out now. Okay, now that all that's done, I just combined all of my envelopes. I'm sorry, I just combined all of my wallets. I went from 5 to 3. Those are the 3 that you see right over here. This was an idea that I had. I talked to my sweets about it, and I think this is what we're going to do. We're going to try it out at least. The money that we have from variable expenses that we have rolled over or that we did not spend, we're going to actually put it in the envelope to see if we can start to save it up in here to build up a nice cushion for each of the categories. The reason why we want to do that is because eventually what we want to do is we want to be grown-up budgeters, right? I hear a lot of people who use their credit cards for binder opened up here. Use their credit cards for everyday expenses. They get the cashback rewards and then they just pay it off at the end of the month. In my mind, you need to have some money saved up for you to be able to do that. So that is what I want to try and get started doing. And I think it was Lyman Joy that did something similar. She says she started these binders, but she kind of did a no spend when she first started so that she could start to build up those variable envelopes. And I don't think I want to do a no spend necessarily. You know, we're in the midst of getting married and combining households. And so trying to do a no spend this month would be very difficult. But I do think anything that we can save that we didn't spend might be a better way to do it. So that's what I'm going to try and do. All right. So with that said, for groceries, I had, what was that? $75 left. I'm going to take 60 of that. So 20, 40, 60, these 3 20s. And I'm going to put that in groceries. So that the amounts might not match up right with the numbers. It's more about saving the money in the categories that I feel like it needs to be saved in versus saving them in the categories that I actually saved it in, if that makes sense. So I am going to save $10 for gas. Yeah, that's open. Let me see what I got. 10, 20, 30. Yep. So let me put that in sets of 5 there. All right, because I'm going to save $10 for gas. Put that in there. I'm going to save $10 in home or for household expenses. All right, and I have another $10. So I have food for dining out. I have Mo for me if I want to save, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I shouldn't have made that because I have a self-care that I can pull from if I need anything. Corinne has a sinking fund if she needs anything. This was an extra envelope that I created when I did my binder condensing, which I need to figure out what to do with that money. I need to take that out. I'm going to put this in food. Okay, let's do that. Me and these. Hey, so I'm going to put that in there. Okay. And as I'm talking, this helps me when I make the video. So I just thought about that. I really don't need that. I wasted letters, honey. I really don't need one for myself and for Corinne because we have our own sinking funds that we can put that in. And I don't know about this extra. So my thought with this extra one would be, at first, all of them would be combined and it would just be one big buffer. But I like it better having the separate categories for each of them. So I have right now an extra 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, $29. You know, I'm gonna leave the envelope in here because sometimes I might come into some money that I want to put in there and I just don't know what to do with it right away. So I'm going to leave the envelope for now, but I am going to put this money in these categories. So I am going to add in food and household and gas. So I'm going to take the 4 ones and we're going to put that in home. So now home should have $14 as the start of our buffer for that one. Because sometimes plastic forks or plastic spoons, you just need $2 or $3 and not necessarily a whole lot. I'm going to put an extra 5 in food. That's going to make this one 15. I'm going to put 10 in gas. That means I have an extra 20, which is good because I'll be going home twice in the month of May, and I'm definitely going to need more gas. And I'm going to put, actually, I'm going to put this in there too. That was a good point, Monique, that you just made. You have to go home twice. So let's see what that means for that. Gas now has 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. $30 in gas now. Oh, I'm glad I said that. I do have to go home twice. All right, so that's almost a full tank of gas. So there you go. 60 in grocery, 30 in gas, 5, 10, 14 in home, 5, 10, 15 in food, and I'll leave that extra back here just in case I don't know what to do with the money. I just want to put it to the side. So we put that up. All right, we are done. I did not make 15 minutes, but I'm pretty darn close. So thank you, everybody, for your time. You guys have a good one.